What's happening, y'all? Hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving and everything. I think I might have said that last week even. I don't know. Kind of get all distracted with time, you know. But Jamie, again, amazing. And yeah, all I know is certain things that are going on in my world. This particular sermon, yeah, couldn't have been better placed for me to hear, and hopefully I can share it. Others that I think really, really need it, and let's just get into it.
All right, we'll get going today. We're going to continue on with our series, Matters of the Heart. So it's funny because I actually gotten a lot of feedback about this series, which I even hate. You guys know I hate calling it a series. That sounds so weird. It's just a sermon. Like we're just working through our standing with the Holy God through the completed work of Jesus Christ and the double-mindedness of our flesh. It says all the time like how we're supposed to examine ourselves, right? Test yourselves, examine yourselves. Lord, see if there's any unclean thing in me. Lead me in your way everlasting. Like, test my heart, Lord. Expose these things in me. But we also know that our heart's deceitfully wicked above all things. Who in the world can trust your own heart? You can't trust your own heart, which is why we need each other. We need the body, and we need the word, and we need the spirit, because when you self-evaluate yourself, it will always be in a favorable disposition of, I'm not that bad. And I always go, sure, I believe you. Compared to the world, you're not that bad. But what about compared to a holy God? So if that's our bar, things start getting a little different, and we can't even conceive of what's going on in our heart all the time, which is why we're constantly breaking down this deep matter of the heart. So we're going to continue on today, and we're actually going to talk about satisfaction. And it's always hard to know how to lead into these things, so we'll just start with asking a couple questions. What does it mean? Actually think about these things. What does it mean to be satisfied? What is satisfying to you? And actually, what does satisfy you in your heart? Because here's what I think. I think that a grievous error has actually occurred wherein we associate delight, pleasure, rest, or peace with satisfaction, when in all reality these things are incredibly far from what it means to actually be satisfied. Delight and pleasure and rest and peace, these are merely fleeting emotions that may accompany being satisfied, but even at their highest, in their highest experiential form, we know that they do not equate to this high degree of emotional and spiritual security that is satisfaction. Godly, biblical, eternal satisfaction. It's actually this discrepancy in what it means to be satisfied is at the root of our cultural decay, as well as the total apostasy of the Western-centric church. There's an insatiable pursuit of emotionalistic high experiences that elicit a fleeting dopamine-based pleasure response, and yet in our broken cistern hearts we are never satisfied. But we say we are, but we're not. But we say we are, but we're not. And I know we're not because the broken cistern. It's like add more, put more in, put more in, put more in. Get out the hand pump, get a fire truck, get whatever you can to fill this broken cistern with highly emotionalistic, predatory things that give you this fleeting temporal experience of pleasure, peace, whatever it is, some pleasant emotional language, because you think it's going to satisfy and it actually doesn't. Has anybody looked at the culture around you? Has anybody looked at the church? It's more. We talk about Veruca all the time here. I don't know why. Veruca from Willy Wonka, right? I want the world. I want the whole world. And it's like we want more and more and more and more and more. And we say we're satisfied, but by the testimony in our lives, we actually are not. One of the high indicators and the revelators of your heart on satisfaction versus emotionalism is if you're holding your breath. You're holding your breath waiting for the next thing. That is a high indicator of whether or not you are content or discontent, satisfied or dissatisfied. The removal of satisfaction. What is it? Satisfaction. Oh my goodness. Jeez. I couldn't find it anywhere in my P brain. Satisfaction. The whole sermon's about it and I don't even know the word. Right? So think about that. Like this high indicator on whether or not you're actually satisfied or you're living out from a broken cistern reality is if you're holding your breath. You're holding your breath for your spouse to arrive at the next level. You're holding your breath for a spouse. You're holding your breath for the promotion. You're holding the breath for the next remodel project on your house. You're holding your breath for the next vacation or leisure experience. You're holding your breath even throughout the day to get home to watch your stupid series on TV, because then you'll finally get to rest. You're actually holding your breath for that. You're holding your breath in all these different areas of your life while you're unaware, thinking that once you get that, then you will experience that. I almost said satisfaction again. Satisfaction. I'm looking at Naomi. She's going to be my wordsmith for the day. It's a big deal, right? Think of this on the most basic manifestations of it. You go on vacation from a very demanding, toxic work environment because you're like, it's going to satisfy, right? Like, I need a vacation because I'm tapped out. So temporal delight, pleasure, and rest and instant peace greet you. Everybody agree? You go on vacation, you go, but does it actually satisfy? Because you know the nagging reality of the grind awaits you as soon as you get back. So though the vacation may be a reprieve and you experience these pleasant emotions, the vacation cannot satisfy. It will not satisfy in the face of the suffocating wet blanket reality of you returning to work when you get back. How about in a marriage or with your spouse? There are times in marriage, blessed times of delight and pleasure and rest and peace and authentic companionship within a marriage. Everybody agree? There are shared memories and shared experiences and shared joy. There is truly a gratitude and a thanksgiving for your spouse. Yet, if people are truly honest with themselves, though we know it's good and praiseworthy what we get to enjoy within the confines of a marriage, we know that it does not quite fully satisfy some of the deepest longings of our hearts. There's a dissatisfaction with communication within the marriage. There's a dissatisfaction in the bedroom. Happens all the time in marriages. There's a dissatisfaction. There's a dissatisfaction of spiritual intimacy with your spouse. So although you experience all these things, peace, rest, pleasure, delight, thanksgiving, gratitude, it is not authentic satisfaction. And everybody can testify to that in their lives if you truly think about it. You're constantly holding your breath. If only, if I, if they, what if? And your heart is quietly holding on to this hope that that thing or that circumstances or the expectations of this life or these relational expectations will somehow satisfy you one day. And the bottom line is it never will, because it never could. It never will because it never can. It's an impossibility. In fact, the older I get, not like I'm super old, but the older I get, right? And the more life experiences I engage in, the more diverse, manifold trials and joys and interactions and adventures and afflictions, the more addition of good things to my personal reality, and the more endurance that's required me through bad things, the more I am acutely aware of the insufficiency of the things in this world to ever satisfy. I talk about it all the time. I used to think, if only, then I would be satisfied. And the older I get, I realize it never will. It never will. Not the job, not a truck, not a title, not the toy, not the time, not the space, not the peace, not the perfection of my corporal reality all around me. None of it will actually satisfy. You think it will, and then it's given to you and it doesn't satisfy. There's a book written by
So, I mean, what can I say, right? Jamie, thank you, of course, as always. Satisfaction in this world, I think most of us can honestly say we probably live in a fake, unreal satisfaction if we're not glorifying His name, the powerful name of Jesus, in our everyday moments. And I'm not talking just a couple moments in a day, right? We're talking all day, every day, no matter what's going on. And this dissatisfaction will literally drift away. We won't even know what dissatisfaction actually is if we're putting Him first all the time. And, you know, that's what I'm getting to know. Just like Jamie just kind of ended that. He's like, you know, the more I live, the more I realize that this world just, it can't do it. It can't. And I'm still new to faith. But, like I tell everyone, I'm super duper 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 spoiled that I get to sit in this semi truck and travel the nation and just learn. Listen and learn and listen and learn. And the more you listen, the more you start to learn, and the more it literally starts to sink in, right? It becomes part of my reality, and I'm just, the whole reason that the notion came in to start this channel, right? I mean, it's a channel, I guess, right? Is to help, if possible, and who knows, if we can help one person, that's all that it would take for this to be worthy. It's like, I'm listening to this stuff anyways, and you know, whatever it was, March or something, I heard, hey, why don't you start recording this? The world of YouTube is vast. There's got to be at least one person in there that will find value in this, or help lead them to something, planting seeds, right? That's all we can do. The gifts that are out there that are waiting for people to just open their door is impeccably immense. It's just like vast, right? And I mean, yeah, what? Like, Jamie is amazing. Can't get enough of him. So anyways, that was just the beginning of this Matters of the Heart sermon about dissatisfaction. I would highly suggest everyone listen to the whole thing because it's awesome, but I only want to do little bits at a time, you know, just, this is about 13 minutes now. See, this is almost too long. Anywho, God is good all the time and all the time. God is so good, and I hope y'all out there are doing as well as you can, and just stay focused. Keep Jesus in the front line. That's all we can do, right? So, peace out, y'all.